What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Basscast on BassEast.com. Today we got a special guest and good friend, Andy Montgomery. What's going on, Andy?
Oh, nothing much. Just relaxing a little bit.
Man, what a year you've had. Double qualified for the Bassmaster Classic, fished 2 tours. I'm sure you're ready for a break.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a long season for me, fishing both trails and, topping it off with an open at the end of the year. So yeah, I'm ready for a little downtime, ready to get in a deer stand.
Over and above all the fishing, though, man, you had some really exciting news and the birth of your daughter. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, she kind of came, she's 4 weeks old, so she kind of came in a busy stretch for me. Left a couple days after she got home to go to, Escanaba for the Bass Elite, Angler Year Championship. So it's been pretty busy for me. As soon as I got home from there, I had to fish Lake Norman. So just now getting to spend a lot of time with her. She's doing good. Mama's doing good. So, everything's doing good right now.
Well, that's awesome, man. I tell you, she'll definitely be a daddy's girl. That's for sure. Have you got her any camouflage clothes yet?
Yeah, well, not yet, but whatever she wants to be, that's fine. If she wants to be an outdoorsman, that's good. Or if she wants to be a ballerina, that's good. Whatever course she chooses that she likes.
That's perfect. And that's really the way you got to do it. All right, let's talk about this Lake Norman deal, man. Home Lake caught them skipping docks from what I've heard everywhere else.
Yep. It's my home lake. I know it really well, so I know a ton of docks that's really good there, and skipping the jig is kind of what I do best. So everything lined up the time of year. It's my best time of year on Lake Norman in end of September, month of October. So, everything kind of lined up for me to win that tournament.
Well, let's talk a little bit, first of all, about the jig. I know there was at least one special thing about that jig, why it makes it so good for skipping docks.
It's hand tied. That's a lot of the local jigs around here are hand tied. I even tie some myself, but it's actually made by Sheer Lures, which is he's a good friend of mine. We fish team tournaments together. But I firmly believe in a hand tied jig for skipping. It just keeps the skirt in place and everything, and it's just a confidence thing for me. But the jig had a lot to do with it. I actually put the Strike King Race bug on it this weekend. And I fished all year with the bug on football jigs and flipping grass with it, stuff like that. But first time I ever got to really dock fish with it was at Lake Norman, and I think it made a little bit of a difference, especially with them spotted bass. They love a lot of action in your bait, and the raised bug gave a lot of action when it was falling with the legs kicking and stuff. So I weighed in 13 spotted bass, 13 out of 15 was spotted bass, and definitely my jig played a role in that.
Well, as far as skipping, Andy, I happened to know the guy that was in the boat with you the last day of the event, and Chris Murphy, good friend of Bass East. He said that he had never seen anybody skip as far up under docks as you did. Now, I'm sure some of that's just from experience of dock fishing, but can you tell us a little bit about your rod and reel setup?
It is a little bit about experience. That's just what I do. That's what I grew up doing. So, it's just I've had a lot of practice doing it, and I got the right setup. I use the Daiwa Tula reel. I was using a 7-foot medium heavy Daiwa Z and rod, but the Tula with the T-wing system, it does give you a little bit more distance than the conventional reel would. I've always skipped with a Z, and even before I was sponsored by Daiwa, that's what I skipped with. And I never thought I could find anything that I would change and go over, but the T-wing system definitely has converted me. And you can, either on a regular cast or a skip, you can get a little bit more distance with it, no doubt about that.
Can you maybe give the listeners a little insight into the T-wing system, what it is?
It's basically, it's when you mash the button on the Tatula reel, there's actually a slit that's about half the size of the spool that your line actually goes through. When you cast, well, first it's conventional reels and everything we've always known, where it goes off the big spool into a little round hole. So in a pretty short amount of time, so you got a lot of friction there, and this really, almost allows you to free spool it without a line guide, taking a lot of friction away, and it's almost like you're free spooling when you're casting, but when you click it back over, it actually goes back into a conventional line guide, so the line will lay back perfect on your spool. So, the T-wing, one of the most innovative things I've seen come since I've been a part of fishing. When I think of stuff like the power pole, which really changed fishing, something that you can't fish without now, and in the real market, the T-wing system is definitely a big advancement from what we've always had.
Sure, and the Zillion's going to have the T-wing system on it this year as well, too, right?
Right. The T-wing system will be on the Zillions and the Tatulas in 2015.
And the price point on the Tatula is
The reel I was actually using is only $150, and I've had some of mine 2 years and they're still holding up. So they're durable. They got the air rotation in the handles, which keeps the handles smooth. Just I can't. We could go on and on about the qualities they are, but at a price point of $150, it's something that everybody can afford, and it's just an awesome reel. If you step up to the Zillion, it's going to be right around 300. So you got two price points there. The one that I won Lake Norman on was the $150 Tatula. And it got the job done. It's been getting the job done for me for 2 years now.
Gotcha. Let's talk a little bit about line choice for flipping under those docks.
I like fluorocarbon. I like a low stretch because a lot of the docks I fish have brush piles under them and stuff. So when I got a fish to bite, I wanted to hook him fast and get him out. And fluorocarbon has a low stretch, so that allows you to get him out of there quick. I use Seaguar and Vizex. I think it's, in my personal opinion, it's the best there is out there, and at the price point. You can step up to the Tatsu, which is extremely good line, but you also have to pay for it. But for the price point, the Vizex is what I use 95% of the time. Seaguar and Vizex.
Gotcha. Well, as far as throughout the 3 days of competition, choosing the docks. I mean, when you go to practice on a lake that it's going to be a dock bite, what are some of the things that you look for that that make some docks good and some docks not so good?
Lake Norman, it was a lot of just knowing what docks are good. I did fish some stretches of docks, and I caught a lot of my fish on day 2. I kind of developed the pattern of the fish was really relating to the walkways on the docks, and I just fished flatter docks, banks that had real flat banks that the walkways would be 3 to 5 foot deep, and I kind of developed that pattern. That was a pattern that I could run, and I could pull up on docks that I may have never fished or don't fish a lot, and really key on that pattern real quick. And then the other docks on Lake Norman that I fished had brush around them, and that's just from experience and knowing which docks have brush and which docks don't. It was kind of, first day I caught a lot of them out of brush. The second day, the walkways really carried me. And then the last day, it was kind of a mix, half and half. Some of them I caught out from under walkways, and some of them I caught out from under docks that had brush piles on that I knew was there.
Gotcha. How many docks a day do you think you hit, Andy?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I got that question a lot. I wish I could count them, but I'm guessing I fished over 50 a day, maybe even more. I burnt 34 gallons of gas a day on Lake Norman, and that's a lot for Lake Norman. So I just fished as many as I could in the time that I had. And every day I'd mix in some new docks that I hadn't fished, and repeat some stuff that I thought needed to be repeated. So it was a healthy mix of new stuff and old stuff every day.
Gotcha. Fishing that many docks, I know you have something on your boat that makes that dock fishing a little bit easier with
Yeah,
stowing and deploying that
well,
trolling motor.
right. Picking up the trolling motor up and down all day. If I fished over 50 docks and I picked up that trolling motor 50 times, the equalizer definitely takes nearly half the weight of the trolling motor off, and when I really become a big believer of the equalizer is when I had one pop off on me at Table Rock one time. I just popped the other side off and went out there the next day without it, and then you realize exactly how much it's helping. So definitely decrease the fatigue, especially with the shape my back's in right now. 'Cause my back's in pretty bad shape. I think I got to get it fixed this fall.
So anybody that doesn't know anything about the equalizer, it's a add-on lift assist for the Motor Guide trolling motors, and Andy sells them right on his website. Run on over there, check it out, pick you up a set, and it'll definitely save your back for sure.
Right, no doubt about that.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Classic. What are you thinking?
It's only an hour and 15 from my house. I actually graduated from Clemson, which is on the shores of Lake Darwell, but I didn't spend a lot of time on Lake Darwell. Looking back on it, I wish I would. I spent most of my time during my college years on Lake Kiowee. So I wish I would have spent more time on Harwell. I don't know it real well, but I plan on getting to know it, between now and January 1st when the lake goes off limits. So luckily it's close to my house, and I can spend some time down there.
Well, Andy, how are you seeing that thing set up? I know it's a bunch of docks on that lake as well. I've heard there's some pretty good deep brush that time of year. If you had to guess, what would you say? Is it going to be, February? It could be.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of deep fishing going on. There may be some caught off docks, but I think there may be some caught on a jerk bait, and then there's going to be a lot of fishing deep. A lot of dragging jigs and stuff out in the timber, and they fish a lot of ditches and stuff down there. So there's definitely going to be a good deep bite.
Well, being on the East Coast and the South, the weather could bring anything that time of year. So it'll be interesting.
If we have a bad snow, that's usually the time of year we have it.
Well, hopefully we won't have to deal with that. Well, look, Andy, thanks for taking the time to catch up with us, and go get some rest, climb up in the tree, and take care of that baby.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, this has been another edition of Basscast on BassEast.com.